Good afternoon. I'm back here on an afternoon on Tuesdays. If you've caught me live, then congratulations. It's like I'm this moving target on Tuesdays. Sometimes I'm able to come to you guys in the morning, and sometimes it does have to be in the afternoon. And some of you guys are watching on this on replay. So thank you so much for watching. And if you have questions, feel free to comment. And if you're live, I will try to answer comments live if you are tuning in at this time. This week, we're talking all about what's happening in Edmonton's real estate market like we do every single week. And I'm just looking at the number of listings for single family homes. It is rising. You might wonder, oh, good, now we're in a buyer's market. No, 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 no. We are getting into a better place in terms of things for sale, which is good for you as buyers. You're getting a little bit more choices and options, but depending on price point and demand and location, you still don't have a whole lot of time to think about things. We are sitting in some very cold temperatures, and people would probably think that they can just take their time or things are moving slower, but they're actually not. And I'll show you why when I show you this. So, pending sales in the last week in Edmonton was higher than the week before. So, indeed, the subarctic temperatures are not affecting people writing offers and going to look at homes. The market is still very strong. Things are still moving, and they're still moving relatively fast. And it depends again on the price point. So I'm going to show you here in a minute what is happening in the price points in Edmonton to give you a gauge of, hey, what went pending this last week. So let's take a look at the screen and I'll show you the pending sales in Edmonton for single family homes just in the last 7 days. And we're just going to look at Edmonton. So we had, no, we want active. 196 pending single family sales. Why did my numbers show you something different? Let me just see what it said. This says pending sales in Edmonton, 167. My child must have done that wrong. So good thing I'm checking right now. So 196 pending properties in Edmonton for single family homes in the last 7 days. Oh, he might have done a different calculation. But anyways, taking a look at 196 properties, that's a lot of sales in the last 7 days in single family. You'll see the range is from $225,000 to $1.995 million. So if we go and take a look at 300 to 400,000, 29 homes sold in that range. 400 to 500, 66. So I'm telling you, this is a hot price point. The 4 to 500 and then the 500 to 600 is 45. So 400 to 500,000, definitely a lot more sales than last week. If we look at 600 to 700,000, that's 29. So things are still moving there, but a lot slower. And then 700 to 800, we had 13. So that's just in the last 7 days. So things are moving and progressing. And if you look at anything over 800, we're looking at 11 total out of all of the 197 properties. So definitely pending sales are still moving, and it's February 18th. It's still pretty strong, but if we take a look at the solds in terms of how many properties went sold, so firm, conditional, a little less than the week before, and that could be for many reasons. Deals could have died because of financing, inspection, people changed their minds. The numbers have dropped overall if you look at the surrounding areas, but if you take a look at compared to last year at this time, Edmonton single family homes, we had 125 versus 242. So last year, we saw more properties sell at this time last year by quite a bit. I'm just going to double check these numbers since one number was maybe incorrect. So we had 180 properties sell in the last 7 days. If I take a look, that's like 242, so about 60 different. It is different by quite a bit. It is February, but I'm foreseeing that our market is still relatively strong. It has not bottomed out. A lot of people were worried, hey, with all this uncertainty, are people just going to stop? Is things going to stop selling? Is there going to be nothing for sale? If you take a look at the active single family homes, we mentioned 1,391 properties for sale. So let me just double check this number is correct. That says 1427. I do not know what happened with the numbers. I always have my son help me, and I double check numbers today, and it doesn't seem to be correct. So this also could change as well in the morning, which is when he did the numbers. Sometimes it changes during the day because things get backdated if things were missed in terms of things being up for sale. But anyways, 1,391 active single family homes in Edmonton. Is still quite a bit of homes for sale, but not even close to what we have had in the past. A year ago, we had quite a bit more. The year before, we had more. So this is at an all-time low. Getting into spring market. Spring market is officially going to start in a couple weeks. And I know spring doesn't officially start in Edmonton till then, but I'll tell you the forecast for Thursday and Friday and Saturday is starting to really warm up, and we might start to see even more action happening in that time. Let me just take a look at this request. Louis, you caught me live again. You did indeed. All right, so let's take a look at this request. Can you please share the sold properties in Rosenthal? Absolutely. So I'm going to pull this up and then I'll share my screen. So in the last 7 days in Rosenthal, we only saw 2 properties sell, and they sold for $425,500 and $630,000. The one sold at list price, which was on the market for a long time, and so it means that probably the price has changed. And the other property sold for a little under list. That's why you see that red arrow. If we go back 30 days, we had 10 properties sell, which is quite a bit of properties in the last 10 days when it's so quiet. You've seen 351 all the way to 650 as the highest sale price, and the average is 527 of what's sold in the last 30 days. So hopefully that answers your question, Lynn. So anyways, going back to what's happening in our market, the Edmonton real estate market I would not say it's just falling flat. Sure, it's a little different than last year, but we also had started off last year. Let me just see. Louis has a question. Happy to answer your question. If you have time, can you show us some high-end duplexes, like 500 to 600,000 in West Southwest? When you talk about high-end duplexes, are you from Edmonton? That's my first question. And second of all, are you looking at houses without condo fees or with condo fees? Because when it comes to duplexes, sometimes you'll have the single family ones or the condominiumized ones. So I'm happy to show you those. I'm just going to pop into the other screen here. If you could answer my question, then that's going to help me as well to get you some more information. So I'm going to just look at actives. You want to look at duplexes and high-end duplexes, 500,000 and higher. And let me see, Southwest and West. So typically we're going to find those in the newer neighborhoods. So I'm just going to put zone 58, and I think it's 57 and 56. I have a map behind my computer desk, so I was just checking that. So you got 11 duplexes for sale. Yeah, from Edmonton Freehold. Okay, so I did single family homes, and then you'll see they're in Glenridding, so Southwest, and actually Edgemont. So I put in all those areas, but the only ones that came up were Glenridding, Keswick, Edgemont, Glenridding again, Ambleside, and Keswick. And they range from 519,000 to $1 million. You wanted 500 to 600, so that's going to be actually the majority. So the first 8 properties, and the most recent one that came on the market was in Keswick at this one here. Luxury vinyl plank flooring, no fireplace, but you can easily buy one if that's important. Buy one from Home Depot to put in there. Now, I don't know if this is considered high end. I think everyone has a different definition of high end. Maybe it's high end because it's over 500,000. That basement's finished. I would say a high end is maybe something like this, but this is 900,000. These are the bungalow ones. They just have a little bit more of the high end feel to it. Obviously, with 900,000, you have a walk-through butler's pantry, like a pantry and a butler's pantry. So I would say that this would be high end. But if you're talking about price point high end, like over 500, then that's what I just showed you. It's based on the location. This basement, I think, is finished too with the office on the main floor. That's a bungalow. So both of these are bungalows in the Southwest area, and That one was also bungalows. The last three are bungalows, and anything that's a 2-story duplex, just stop at 550. So it goes 519 to 550. So that's that. Selling mine in Southeast for low 400. Yeah, so Southeast Edmonton is completely different than the Southwest and West of Edmonton. They're not going to be going for the same. So the same property is going to sell for more, and it's not necessarily the right gauge to price your home based on that. You've got to look at what is actually selling in Southeast Edmonton to see if the pricing is correct. Now, people are also wondering about interest rates, and the interest rates are constantly changing and moving. So my recommendation is that every single person has a different situation. Even the rates you see that are advertised, I want to give you a tip. When the rates go down, first of all, the Bank of Canada rates, when they go down, that's not your mortgage interest rate. Maybe you might say to me, of course I know that, Melody, but not everyone knows that, so I'm just stating maybe the obvious. And those affect your variable rates, not your fixed rate mortgages. And that's not even the rate of the variable mortgage. That's the Bank of Canada rate. So you've got to check in on that. You also have a different interest rate, but depending on how much money you're putting down. So if you're doing 5% versus 20%, even versus 15, your interest rate's going to be different. So if you're gauging your purchase power on that, you really need to talk to a mortgage broker to see what your actual purchase power is, instead of just thinking, well, that's what's advertised, that's what I'm going off of. I'm going to use an online calculator and figure out what my mortgage payment could be. Not safe to do. You need to talk to a mortgage broker to make sure you figure all of that stuff out, to make sure that it's actually the interest rate versus guessing if that's the interest rate. The other thing I'm really interested to see next Tuesday is how much more the market's going to move in terms of pending and sold properties, because of the fact that it has been so cold and people have been wondering. Just imagine how many more people could come on the market when it's warming up. That's going to be the crazy part, because if it's been as busy as it has been in the subarctic temperatures, the warmer weather will bring out more people. And the month of March typically brings out more people. And why is that? Well, if you look at 60 days from March, April, May, you move in May. So you move in, it's a lot warmer. It's before summer starts, so people can get moved in before and still have their summer holidays. That's why March, April, and May are the hottest times of the month in Edmonton to sell. And if you are selling a house, it's the best time to sell. But the best time to sell is when you have your house priced properly, because that's going to affect it too. You can still be overpriced in the spring market, and you can still be moving your house very quickly at this time of year because there's nothing for sale. So if your home comes up for sale and it's priced right, there are people literally waiting. They've lost out on homes. They haven't been able to get a house and they're waiting. So we just got to make sure that things are moving and priced properly. Anything over the 600 mark, you have to be more patient with and a lot more aggressive in your pricing. There are homes that still move. We did move 601 million within a weekend, but you've got to be right on the nose and right on the point with your pricing. You can't just like try things out. If you try things out, it's going to potentially slow down the sale process of your home. So it's important when you're looking at selling a house that you have not only the right pricing strategy, but your home shows as best as it possibly can, and it has the marketing that it has that it needs to get that out. If you're selling a home that's priced between 400,000 to 500,000, be prepared to move quickly. And so that's why you want to get your house ready for sale, and then look for a home. Once we find a home, then you put your house up for sale, because it'll sell in a heartbeat, and then you'll be able to move forward with your other house, especially if your house is in that over 600 range. It'll be a lot quicker. If you're moving from 4 to 5 into the 5 to 6, it might be a little bit more challenging. You need to be a little bit more strategic with the moves there. But of course, no one wants to move into a house or no house if they sell their house. So other ways around that, because you need to sell your home, is to have a longer possession date, especially if in the 4 to 5, if you've got multiple offers, you have the ability to make sure you ask for the date that you want, and giving yourself 90 days is plenty of time to find a property, as long as you're reasonable with what you're looking for. Because if you're looking for something that doesn't exist, then it could be a very long time before you find anything that's going to fit your criteria. So I'm just going to take a look and check, because I want to see if we have any more questions. My computer's being super weird and not letting me. Oh, there we go. I just want to see if I have any more comments. Nope, there's no other comments. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to hop on. And I see there's quite a few people watching right now, and you're not asking questions, which that's totally fine. Happy to have you on here. If you have any more like burning questions about areas and whatnot, make sure to check out my videos. I just did a market stats video for all of January to see what has happened. And that's going to give you a better scope of what's going on there. And then we will be doing some more updates. We've got a new listing that we're preparing, but we're not putting up yet because they're also looking for a home. So we want to make sure that house is going to be in that very popular price range. So it's going to move very quickly. So we can't advertise that until we actually find them a place. And so if you're looking for a specific home, specific area, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So you've got to get your like feelers out even right now. So if you're like, Melody, I don't want to look until May, looking right now is really important, because when you go to look in May, there may not be anything available, or you might be in massive competition. So make sure that you take a look at that. And I can't believe I just said the word massive. If anyone's watching this and you know why that word is kind of, I have teenagers. So let's just say, I'm sure if you guys know what I'm talking about, I'll see it in the comments. Anyways, I hope you have a great Tuesday. Stay warm, and it's going to be warmer here in a couple of days, and let's see what the real estate market does. Bye guys.